Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I could.
Jordan's last first supper as a 36-year-old.
uh, yeah. So, Megan's our daycare provider. Um, and she I don't need to say her age. She turned a milestone age this year, so we went out to celebrate.
I mean, it's definitely 40. Just say 40.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But like maybe
And
she doesn't want that out there.
no, the reason why is because everyone else is going to figure it out. She's way too young to be 50,
Yes,
and she's definitely not 30.
right. Yeah, 40.
Process
So yeah,
ipso facto.
so
Happy
funny.
40th,
Excellent
Megan.
deduction skills. Yeah, she
It's that
turned
tism coming through.
40 on the 9th and planned like a night where she could go out with all her friends, and she also invited like the parents of all the kids that she cares for.
Right.
um so we like filled half the restaurant with everybody.
Damn.
It was pretty cool. And like I think perfect night to go out, Thursday night before Easter in Port Hope. Like I don't think there's much going on. I think there might have been a play happening at the local theater, but otherwise it was kind of a quiet night. So
Nice.
good business, I suppose. Anyway, and her husband Alex was just like, "Thank you everyone for coming to the Last Supper." And then Megan right behind him is like, "It's because tomorrow's Good Friday. He thinks it's
He
funny."
thinks it's funny. She's just a classic, like, rolling her eyes. Who let this guy
Yeah,
in here? Oh,
right.
man.
It was just
That's so funny.
it was very sweet.
Wholesome.
But yeah, we had to, when this comes out, Megan's gonna hear it. We had to fib because we got talking about birthdays, and then she was like, "When's your birthday, Jenna?" And I was like, "September." And she's like, "Oh yeah, end of September." And then she's like, "Jordan, when's your birthday?" And he froze. He was like, because we never said anything. We
Yeah,
were just like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's on his birth," but like we will go out and celebrate Megan. We just like won't say nice.
Mm.
Nice.
Let me grab a sip of coffee.
A sip of your coffee. Gosh, that cup looks heavy. Man.
I like a big cup of
Um,
coffee.
uh, and he's just like, "Oh, it was a week ago." And she was like, "Really? When?" And he was like, "April 10th." Like he just like played it
He's
cool.
not. She's gonna put it in her fucking calendar, and
I
he's gonna
know.
get a text.
I know.
Oh, that actually
And I was like,
cracks me
"Jordan,
up.
we have to correct this." But I
We
was
have to
like,
come clean.
"Yes," but he in the moment,
Yeah.
without saying I could read his mind, but in the moment he was like, "I'm not making tonight this very special celebratory evening for Megan
Yeah.
about me."
No, classic.
So, classic Jordan. Yeah, so I feel like he's just so sweet. And so Megan, when you hear this, Jordan's birthday is April 17th.
Yeah, yeah.
uh you ultimately were
It's
more important
well, and I
last night.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he it also like prevents that whole fucking conversation too. Oh my god, it's your birthday. I'm so sorry. No, you know what I mean? Like
Totally,
Jordan doesn't
totally.
give most people I don't think would give a
I
fuck.
think most guys, I
Definitely
think a
most
lot,
guys.
I know a lot of women who get very, very, like, I don't want to say protective. Protective's not the word. Like expectations. They have expectations for their birthdays for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason. And uh, for like I don't know what the hangups are. I feel like as I get older, I want fewer and fewer people to know when my birthday is, just so that I'm not reminded that I'm like aging
Yeah.
exponentially. So yeah, I just don't tell people. And I think Jordan's always been not like he doesn't celebrate his birthday per se. Like his family tradition was like they'd go out for dinner and like that's it. There was not like a birthday party thing.
Yeah.
think he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it cut out at a very inopportune time. He was given the opportunity to have a birthday party or take the money that it would have cost to have the birthday party.
No.
Yeah.
Uh See, I thought he was just naturally
It's like, I'll take the cash.
yeah, yeah, for sure. The whole like his fucking whole body just starts vibrating. He's like cash. Cold hard cash.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
this
100,
this
I
makes so
think
much sense.
100
This
bucks. Yeah.
is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
origin story of Jordan.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I see it in Anson. All right. Are all kids like this? Like, do they just like holding coins
No, Olivia would
and
love to
money?
spend every single cent she has the moment she gets
Okay.
it. She's so
Okay.
impulsive like me.
She's
Hmm.
like, spend, spend, spend. Yeah.
Spend, spend, spend. She's got
I have no money.
a
Yeah.
little fucking green like zipper wallet kind of thing, and she just
Cute.
every time she finds like an old gift card or something in the house
Okay.
in a
Yeah.
fucking random drawer or whatever, can I have this? Can I have this?
Yeah.
Everything's a credit card. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's really cute now. It's eventually going to be very concerning when she thinks it's real money. But we started these chore charts where they have 5 chores and like I don't know 7 slots per chore, and every time they do a chore, they get a chore sticker.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I cut out or you did, but I just kept going. And we used to just like, hey, congratulations, you finished your chore chart, and then we write down like, here's your $10. You have $10. Um, and it wasn't the kids enjoyed it for a bit, and then it was getting just a bit too routine, and there wasn't an actual trade off of
It lost its like,
cachet.
yeah, yeah.
And so we started giving them $10 cash every time they finished the chore chart. And being
Oh,
handed the money made all the difference in the world.
wow. Okay,
Now they're
interesting.
yeah, they're burning through their chore charts.
They're like, get me that money.
When you guys were up on the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan had mentioned the kids were playing in the front yard. They all came inside, and
Mm-hmm.
William put away all the toys from the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Of his own volition. Nobody
on his
asked him
own,
to do it.
yeah, of his own free will, he volunteered
Yeah.
his tribute and he sorted it out. So
Yeah.
he came in, and we didn't make a big deal out of it, but we recognized it. We told him. I said I wanted him to know that someone else told me about it.
Okay.
So I was like, Jordan told me that he saw you, and it just kind of lets him know that Jordan was looking out for him too, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um. Anyway, William got
I
a
will
little
relate it to an episode of Mad Men in a moment.
okay.
Uh,
He anyway, we gave him a free chore sticker.
mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, buddy, you can have a free chore sticker. You put it on any chore you want, because some of them they're easy to do, like Feed Bandit, and others are
Yes.
really hard to do, like put away your toys.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the free sticker is a really nice way to keep them excited and motivated. But
And they're like, oh, and also that people are recognizing that they're doing good when they don't, when they're not expecting it.
well, and
Yeah.
I'd never done this before, but it opened up a whole new avenue of thought process for the kids. It's like shit,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can do other things, and
Yeah.
that can be translated
Get.
into a sticker.
Yeah.
So
That is a reward. Yeah.
Anson and Olivia both tried to do the same thing. Then Olivia cleaned something or whatever, and this was after you guys had left. But while you
Mm-hmm.
guys were here, Anson's like he came up to me, he goes, "Hey, I put away all the toys from the front yard."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, thanks, pal. I'm so happy. I really appreciate you helping. I'm sorry that I don't have a chore chart for you here though, so I can't get. I don't. We have nowhere to put a sticker, and I didn't think I should have just given him a fucking sticker.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I guess dad brain. Oops,
No.
you don't belong here. I didn't say that to him, but he got sad. I was like, shit,
That was your
I
thought
fucked that up.
process, probably, though. You were probably like, oh, I don't have a chore chart for you to put a sticker on, or else I would.
Yeah, again,
And then he was like,
his
can you make me one?
I should have. I really should have. It should have been like I should do like
Weird.
sleepover chore charts for when you guys show up.
Sleepover chore charts. Yeah. Yeah. not for monetary value, just for street cred,
Yeah, just for helping out. Yeah, you get two
Yeah.
sleepover snacks now instead of one.
Yeah, so when I had made chore charts for them a while a while ago. Yeah, like January. And them being in a more visible place, he's like able to see it and access it and read it and be like, okay, these are the things that
Yeah,
I can do and get my stickers. So I just have to kind of like be more diligent about noticing when he's doing those things, I think. Because he's been like this morning he got up, got dressed, and he started cleaning his room. He's like, I'm organizing my books. I was like, oh, very nice. And he's like, and I think after I'm gonna go ahead and clean my room. And like he always does this before my mom comes to visit, which is when like our parents come to I don't know, I assume everybody does it. I'm just like, my mom's coming, I have to make the house presentable and make her believe that I'm a responsible person
yeah,
that's functioning.
yeah. She's not a total failure. See, mom, you did okay.
Hmm.
Look at me.
Yeah, I can clean my house, don't you worry, mom. Yeah, silly.
Do you often feel
But yeah,
judged by your mother?
do I feel judged by my mother? Judged maybe isn't the word.
Because your behavior
Indicates that I feel this
presents
way.
as someone
Hmm.
who is trying to avoid judgment or critique.
So it's an interesting question you bring up. I have felt judged by her, and like in recent years, I feel like since we lived on Perth Road,
Right.
like that judgment doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't exist, but like it's not presenting. She's not saying or doing things that are judgmental. But definitely growing up, and I would say like my conditioning of living with her was like,
Yeah, yeah. It's like
get your shit
Tiger
together,
Woods
girl.
getting yelled racist shit at by his dad just to
Yeah.
prep him for golf.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I oh my god. Yeah, I feel like now that's just who I am. And so now I'm like, okay, can't do this. But like my mom has come over and I've like, not had a chance to, I don't know, clean up 100% like I would like to. Especially when I was like in my surrogacy last year, I had like no energy left
no kidding.
for those tasks. So
Sure,
like
who
she
would? I have
yeah,
no
she came
energy without
over
fucking having a baby.
and like yeah, no, like nothing was ever said. There's no judgment placed or anything like that. But I think it's more the just like how I'm programmed in my brain now to
Uh,
believe that if I don't do these things, then not uh I'm not succeeding in the way that I'm supposed to. And
yeah, you're
and
not
that sounds
meeting the
insane, but
standard.
yeah. Yeah.
So, because that was going to be my next question to you is it her communication that's changed, or is it your response to what she's doing changing, or is it a bit of both? You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
both. Things that always everybody to stuff to feel like she definitely share that. But I think it's also sorry, the second part of that you were saying like what I believe to be true. Is that
yeah, I guess like to
more or less?
by way of example, someone could say
Yeah.
you're dumb and it really upsets you.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
years
If you
down
let
the
it.
line, you've changed, you understand things differently, and then they come up to you and say you're dumb and it just doesn't bother you anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's
Okay.
I guess
Yeah.
it's a
Yes.
very crude example, but that
Yeah.
idea of the things that you used to say about me that I used to believe, I don't believe anymore.
I do my best. Like a my inner voice, I guess, has like changed.
That's a
But
tough one, eh? I find the inner voice is just, and for people like us especially, I don't know about non ADHD types, but the voice just is never ending.
the voice, yeah, the voice is strong with us, I would say for sure. Like, um, I don't want to say I know a lot of people. Like, I think Jordan's a great example of this because I have explained negative self-talk and things like that, and to an extent he can relate and understand because like we I think this is built up in childhood, like, is of his parents being like, we love you, it's unconditional, um no matter what happens, it's secure.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you don't have that sort of in the back of your mind thought that like, oh, but if I don't do this, no one will love me. And I think that that is like people, but I think that through me doing therapy, I've like traced it back to like this uh the voice in my head say that initially, and then me growing out of that uh belief. I don't know what else to call
Yeah, it's, do you find, sorry, you kind of,
it.
I
Sorry,
want to
go
make sure
ahead.
you weren't still talking. Do you find, so
Yeah, no.
just to sort of read back like the voice thing that you talk about, I,
Mm.
I find it
The
so
story I
tricky.
tell myself.
That's truly what it is, because I
Yeah.
I don't know how many situations the last couple weeks I've been sitting there driving, working, whatever, and
Hmm.
I'm ruminating about something that I don't like, something happened, whatever,
Those damn ruminating
and those
thoughts.
negative thoughts happen again, and I'm like,
Again.
okay, wait a second, it's so hard, and we
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 worked
mentioned this,
past this.
we mentioned this all the time too, about
Yeah.
how like to take, this is what taking a step back and looking at things means, and not just believing the thoughts that you hear, because I lived my life that way. I just assumed, because it was my brain, my head, my mind, whatever, that if the thoughts coming in are my thoughts, then I must believe these things, I must think these things must be true, right?
Hmm.
And it's taken me so much practice, and it's only enough practice that I can tell when it's happening now. I'm not so
Okay.
practiced at it that I can avoid it altogether, but
Hmm.
I'll have to pull myself out of that thought process and be like, hey, no, you don't. I have to tell myself, you don't think that anymore. You know that's not true. You don't believe these things. Whatever it is that I'm telling myself, I have to kind of counter that.
Those old thought patterns.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Gosh, there's like a very good quote for that. It's like more or less like this just doesn't serve you anymore.
hmm.
Maybe it was a coping mechanism or it was, conditioning or whatever you want to call it at one time. But yeah,
Yep.
at some point you break out of that and you're like, this
My
no longer literally serves me at all. It's detrimental, in fact. And so it's like you have to evolve.
Yeah, it's hard to recognize that you need to evolve though, because and this is the reason why they feel so real, and if
Hmm.
it's so convincing in your head that what the
Hmm.
thoughts are telling you is true, right, or accurate, is because
Hmm.
that version of you, my therapist says, protect yourself. We all
Hmm.
talk about wearing masks, right? So when we do the podcast,
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
different versions of ourselves than when we're moms and dads, or husbands and wives, or bus driver, army officer. Like we
Yeah.
all have different versions of ourselves, and so it's not a thing that people should be concerned about. It's not everyone does this. It's part of how we learn to cope and get along, kind of thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, if I was my true self at work, I'm pretty sure I'd be unemployed. Just to kind of drive that home a little bit further. But these these thoughts that talk to you used to say these things to you because it was how you protected yourself in whatever situation you were in. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
oftentimes that looks like I believe these things because it makes me behave this way. And when I behave this way, I draw a lot less attention or I get in a lot less trouble or everyone else seems happier. So,
Okay.
anyway, what you said was really true because my therapist also talks about, and I've read this in a few other places too, but these versions of you don't serve you anymore.
Mhm.
And we're trying to separate from them. We're trying to get rid of them. We're trying to not need them anymore. But you can't just fuck them off because for apparently you
Yeah,
can't
you
just
can't
fuck
just control alt delete. Yeah.
well because they are a such a hardwired part of who you are now. This is you
Yes.
your nervous system responding to situations. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now you got to retrain your nervous system. You got to retrain your brain, and you got to say, "Hey, I recognize what you're trying to do for me. I appreciate that, but I don't need that help anymore." And it makes you feel a little less well, it makes you feel super fucking weird if you're not comfortable talking to yourself. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it
That's a
reminds
good point.
you that if you don't do it that way, there's a negative connotation associated with what you're trying to achieve. And that
Yeah. Yeah.
and that and that means you're being negative towards yourself because these aren't alternate personalities. These are versions of you that you created.
Totally. Yeah.
So being polite and thoughtful and grateful, I suppose, is a great way to uh, address your own needs as an individual who's trying to get better
Mhm.
without sort of forsaking the versions of you that you needed to be. Otherwise you're kind of just shitting on your whole past. You're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you weren't good enough then, you're still not good enough now, but we're getting there. But what you're trying to tell yourself is I did everything I needed to do the best I could do, and I did
Mhm.
great at it, and now we're here.
Mhm.
And the path has
Mhm.
kind of changed a bit, right?
Yeah. This is
So,
what's brought me here now. Yeah.
and all of that to say, I saw a great TikTok, and this helps. This one really helped me because,
Yeah.
like you said, you're not your story, you're not your thoughts, whatever. For so long, we think we're your brain is telling you things. It's true. They're my thoughts because it's my brain's thoughts. But
Mhm.
your brain is just another organ, like your heart or your skin or your lungs or whatever. And you
Mhm.
don't really have the same relationship with those organs as you do with your brain. You think your brain is better or uh,
Almighty.
well, exactly. But
Mhm.
it's just another organ doing the things it knows to do. But
Mhm.
you
It's
can.
doing what it is programmed itself to do. Yeah.
So this one lady said her therapist. I don't know if it was her or her therapist, but she said, "Name your brain."
Oh,
And I thought that was so funny. So she goes, "I call my brain Becky."
Becky.
And so all of these situations that we just discussed when
Ah, Becky.
so you can get in your brain and be like, Becky, fuck off right now. Like,
Yeah.
Becky, I know what you're doing, I appreciate it, but we don't need that right now. And
Yeah.
it kind of sounds crazy, but I was like, you know what, I really like that idea. I like the imagery because in
Yeah.
my mind I can picture it now. I'm talking to my fucking
Yes.
brain.
Yes, and I feel like it also helps remind you that it's not you,
Hmm.
really.
That's really what it is.
Yeah. It is its own sort of thing doing its
It's
thing.
it's just
Yeah.
it's just the leftover trash from whatever it used to be,
Mhm.
whatever it was, kind of thing.
So I'm gonna forget to say this, but you were talking about how you told William that Jordan brought up the fact that he had cleaned up the yard.
Hmm.
And you were saying like you want what is this?
Sorry, this is me being ADHD. I noticed when I took a drink from my coffee mug. so everyone knows
It changed. Oh, it changes the color.
yeah, the the
Oh, I see that.
the
Oh,
whole lighting
what is
situation improved.
happening? So just hold
So I
your
brought it
cup.
up closer. I was like, "This is incredible lighting." Okay, so now I'm on to something. ADHD is a
um,
powerful tool, folks.
yeah, use it.
Is
Use it as a tool. Um, there's a scene.
in Mad
Sorry,
Men.
in Mad Men. It's in the first season, so if you want to crush that, you can. Where Dawn, if you're not familiar with the show, I can't tell you the backstory of all these characters at the moment. But Dawn is incredibly pissed off at something Pete says during a presentation. Dawn is like the senior
The copy
role.
editor.
Yeah, he's in the senior position. And in these times, a junior uh, staff member would never, should never. Oh, now you just look sepia. Now we're like 19.
That looks like beer. Sorry.
Yeah, that too. Um, so Don goes to see Sterling, the owner of the company, who he's like fucking tight with.
Yeah, they're
And he's
bros.
like, I want Pete out of here today. Pete Cosgrove is done. Like, we're not, is it Pete Cosgrove? Now I'm second guessing myself. Anyway,
PD.
he's like, he's out of here. I fucking hate this guy. And then they go see, I'm gonna forget. I think it's Cooper.
Pete Campbell.
Pete Campbell. Thank you.
Ken
Cosgrove.
Cosgrove.
Ken Cosgrove. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
You're welcome.
Thank you. They go. Is it Sterling Cooper? No.
Yeah,
Now
Sterling
I'm like
Cooper.
getting all my names mixed up. It is. Okay, so they go see Cooper and they're like, listen, Pete fucked up. He went over my head in this meeting, blah, blah, blah. Cooper's like, sorry, I'm friends with his dad. He's got a lot of pull in Manhattan. Like,
Roger
we
Sterling.
can't.
Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
thank you. So Roger Sterling is
Bertram Cooper.
Bertram. Oh, I didn't know it was Bertram. Dang.
Bert. I think they just called him Bert, though.
Bert, yeah. So they go up to his office and he basically says, sorry, you can't fire Pete no matter what he does. But they don't want Pete to know this. They want Pete to believe that he has royally
Yeah.
fucked up and that he should have gotten fired for this. And because if he believes that he's untouchable, then he's going to start acting very differently.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want that
Mm-mm.
because he's already behaving in a way that they don't like. Anyway, so to curtail all of this, Dawn and Sterling go down to Pete's office, and Pete was already packing up his shit, ready to leave. And they burst in through the door, shut the door behind them, and Sterling pretty much like puts him up against the wall. And he's like, listen to me. And he starts doing his like general in the army speak. He's like, this man points to Don Draper, uh, is the only reason that you are still employed at this company. He fought for you. He's like, I wanted you fired. I wanted you out of here today. And this man saved you. And like, he pretty much just says, like, you will report to Dawn at all times. You will never behave that way ever again. Basically made Pete believe that Dawn is rooting for him, even though Dawn is definitely not rooting for him. But he made Pete believe this because now Pete will be very loyal
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to his like his boss, pretty
Yeah.
much, and hopefully not exhibit those behaviors again, where he's like going behind his back and like trying to overshadow him in a presentation. Because Pete could have easily had the conversation with Dawn beforehand and been like, I have this idea.
Yeah.
And I think that might have happened. And Dawn was like, no, not now. It's not the time. Anyways,
Yeah.
so it was like a very well played scenario, kind of like what you were describing. That was like nice. Don't eat it after. um there are people looking out for you,
Hmm.
and like remember that like that's important and that's valuable, that other people are going to look out for you in this life as well. And that it's not just mom and dad, you know.
Yeah, and I like that from Mad Men too, because from like a team business whatever point of view,
Yeah.
really clever way to create loyalty out of thin air.
Yeah, yeah, because it was all fictitious. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was a genius move. As
Genius
otherwise,
move. Yeah.
oh man,
That show is so good. Like I know it's rooted in like blah blah blah, but like you've got to appreciate the writing, how it was done, how they like, even though it was
what
a show that was like about a time where like there was no place for women, they were showing the ways that like women were outshining men in some ways. The fact that like Peggy becomes part of the writing team and like does way better than all the dudes there. um I feel like they were just like planting the seeds of like what was possible
what
then,
what
even despite those setbacks.
what setbacks are you talking about? What are the negative?
Oh,
I've seen
sorry.
I've seen
Like
like a few seasons. I didn't really see anything like
it's like very
negative.
misogynistic.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's I don't wanna say like the ultra liberal kids of today, but like if kids today, like teenagers today were to watch it, they'd be like, "Oh my god, cancel." You know what I mean? Like but you have to understand that that is what life was like back then, and they're painting a picture of the world and how it operated, and they're also painting a picture of how it changed.
Did it change for the good or for the worse? Because like I said, I'm not seeing this
I guess that
negativity that
depends
you're
on your
talking about.
perspective. I didn't like to watch it. I don't feel negative.
If I came home and talked to Cassie the way Don Draper talked to his wife, I want to believe that the world would be a better place.
He's like, and he's not a bad person, but like he cheats on his wife regularly. He's like, I'm working late, babe, and or sometimes doesn't call and just doesn't come home.
I
Yeah.
so I mean
Like it was
obviously
a
joke.
different time.
I'm tracking all the
Yes.
misogyny. One of my
Yes, yes,
favorite parts
yes.
of the show, outside of the fact that they can smoke and drink at work, which is 100% what I would do today if I could.
Dude, they were like
I
getting lit up and they were like, I have this great idea. Oh my God, write it down. Yeah.
I love the fact that they kept shirts in their desk drawers.
Yeah. Change of
J-
shirt. Yeah.
just a little thing like that. Like I mean, I've kept a change of clothes at work for different reasons.
Yeah. Like I might go to the gym or whatever. Yeah.
Or yeah, like I've been working for 48 hours straight. I need a not crusty t-shirt. Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
liked
They're like, I might crash in the city tonight. So I need a
yeah.
change of
I
clothes for
might party
tomorrow.
my face off
Yeah.
and not remember tomorrow, but I'll remember
Yeah.
that I have a clean shirt in my drawer.
Yeah.
It's
I
such
will be this responsible. Yeah.
yeah. I
There's
wonder if
actually one of the accounts in the more recent episodes I've watched. There's an account that they're working with and it's a bank and they're trying to help promote this uh oh
trying to get my little hand to do the finger.
mine has fingers feet this account that they're working with and it's a bank and they are promoting this new account. So they were talking about how men would have like the family account that their wives had access to.
Yes.
And then they would often have a secondary account, which is where all their like
Fun money.
fun money was going. And so their wives never knew about all the nefarious things they were doing. But now they were like rebranding it into something really cool to attract more people so that it was like you know it's a secret account. Your wife won't have access to it. People were already doing that, but now they gave it a name kind of thing, and they were brand cool. And I'm like, oh boy, that was actually happening.
I mean,
Wild, just wild. You know,
it still does.
sure.
But it's not. It's. I don't think it's as I don't know.
It's not the same connotation, perhaps,
Well,
that it used to
and
have.
I
Like,
don't think there's as many with the same connotation. I guess because
yes,
I'm
yes,
sure
true.
there's still people out there, especially on the upper echelons of money
The
making.
world, yeah,
They probably it's just a lot easier to hide stuff when you have more of it. I guess
yeah,
if I try
yeah.
to hide money, Cassie'd be like, "Where the fuck is it, man? I know how much. We're not seeing it."
I I know how much is supposed to be in here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you like lose track of your dollars when there's so much more of them. Yeah,
Well, it's like the U.S.
yeah.
government. They couldn't. They lost like how many, so many billions of dollars they couldn't find. They just.
They like lost track of it. Oh, we just had so many. It just
Speaking of
we just don't
governments,
know. Uh-oh.
Justin Trudeau is no longer our prime minister.
Correct. Correct.
So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for confirmation, but I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to talk shit about him now.
Oh yes.
So he may or may not be a complete and total shithead, but
He
I'll
messed things up. He messed things up big time.
I'm not
Economically.
pleased. I didn't know there was a debate last night.
It's the last one. They've been
Because
like so bad at like making the public aware of what's going on
it
leading
almost
up to
makes
this election. Yeah.
you feel like it's like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. So who do you think, like, do you think the liberals are just going to
I don't
win?
know. I don't know. And I find it really funny too
Can we
that
place bets?
I was thinking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, I was flipping through something on social media, and I went in. I often go into the comments to answer a question,
Entertain.
or yeah, to see what people are saying about something. And this
Yeah.
was a political post. I can't remember what it was, and it's
Okay.
irrelevant. The idea was some lady had commented about not having to listen to Pierre Polyev talk again or whatever, and it makes you realize, you know, I may think that Justin Trudeau did a terrible job as prime minister, but there are other people that think he's done a phenomenal job.
Oh,
And
totally.
and
Oh, totally.
the real
Yeah.
problem is not that those two thoughts exist, but inevitably one person out of those two people is going to fucking despise the other for no reason other than they're supporting the other side of the aisle. Um, and it's weird, like they give us they give us this pretend idea that we're choosing our government, we're choosing our leaders and our representatives, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not, because we don't get to decide who the party leader is, who's ultimately the person making the
That we see.
decisions. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just because provincial riding elected that person doesn't mean that person should get to represent the entire fucking country. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's just a really neat little way that they keep everyone from getting along, because they make it sound like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, liberals, conservatives, NDPs, Bloc Québécois, Green Party, whoever you support, that's all you are. I'm like, listen, I think like most
I
people.
think we Oh, sorry. I cut out.
No, yeah, I go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I think we're a bit more complex than that. Just
I,
like pick a party. Yeah. I don't know.
well, that's all they give us the opportunity to do, though, and it's generally only between two parties. So when people get mad at each other, oh, you support Pierre Poilievre, you support Justin Trudeau, and then all the judgments
But
and
what
the
if the person in your riding and they're not typically, we'll say, like the way you lean? So like, I don't know, it's a terrible example, but like say I like the liberal leader in this particular riding, but I don't want Carney as prime
Well, that's it. Like it's not a great system. And then they give us this false belief that we're choosing who represents us, and we're choosing who gets to exercise the rule of law on our behalf.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
actually choosing. There's not an actual choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're
This is
probably
yeah.
only involved. Sorry, you're probably only involved. And I think this is a. I'm saying this in a good way. I think most people are like
Mm-hmm.
this. You
Mm-hmm.
want to exercise your civic rights, your
Yes.
civic duties. So you
Yes.
want to go and vote, but
Yeah.
ultimately it's probably going to only come down to one or two things
Mm-hmm.
that separates most people from whatever party they're voting for, and not the entire fucking platform, and certainly not every single thing the party leader has ever said.
Yeah.
It's just wild, and like it's so divisive, and it's so dumb that it's divisive because we're not actually getting a choice.
Mm-hmm.
We're not
Mm-hmm.
actually making a difference.
We're the ones who are creating sort of the chaos where there doesn't need to be at
Hmm.
all.
You're right.
Is that kind of what you're saying? Like
I
it's
think that
it's
makes sense. Yeah.
it's created by all our, I don't want to say our simple minds, but like there's a I heard this saying some time ago, and it was made to break down sort of like the thought process that people have and like their economic status. So it's like people who are, we'll say, at the bottom of the economic chain tend to talk about things, and I don't know if this is based on
Oh, are
fact
you
or
talking
whatever.
about these people talk about things, these people talk about
People,
people,
these
these
people
things talk
talk about ideas.
ideas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the ones who are talking about other people are at the bottom, because if you're involved in other people's shit, then you're not making space for the other stuff, right? Sorry, the second one you were talking about, things.
So
So
yes.
other people will talk about things, so like acquiring assets perhaps, or like what we've been up to,
Oh,
things like that.
sorry. This
And
is
then yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
I'm gonna interrupt, and I
You looked it
apologize.
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's funny that you mentioned in Mad Men, and we kind of glossed over this point, but it's a really good point,
Okay.
about women showing up the guys all the time.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely confident that uh, especially in like not uh, I guess in the corporate world, in the white collar world especially,
Okay.
I think most women would outperform most men. Uh, that's just in general.
Say stat-
Every single woman I've worked with in the military who has succeeded has outperformed most, if not all, of their peers,
Oh wow.
and most of their peers are men.
Mhm.
That's on the officer side, so it's a bit of a smaller pool. But the reason why I find it interesting is because this quote is from Eleanor Roosevelt, so it kind of ties it all in. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
she writes, "Great
Mhm.
minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people." So not quite socioeconomic
Mhm.
in relation, but more your sort of mental
Where you at?
perspective, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to say
Yeah.
capabilities or capacity because that's not true. It's what you understand and how
Yeah.
you view things. But anyway, keep going.
Sorry, my whole point was more or less to say, like, if the small minds are discussing people, then they're not going to make space for discussing things or ideas and like move forward or whatever, with things that are, with subjects, I should say, that are maybe more of value, so to speak. Because if you're busy discussing what other people are up to, then what contributions are you making? You know what I mean? Like
That's about half
at
our
the
content.
forefront, yeah, of what like, movements, if you will,
Hmm.
change makers. And you know, if you look at elections specifically, if that's kind of where the majority of people in that discussing people section, and therefore they're not like they're just focused. It turns their focus to something that's like a little bit less important. I don't know. Like they'll just cast a vote based on who they like, as opposed to, what are you actually going to do? I don't know. Am I
Yeah, I
making any
mean,
sense?
and they show too that there was like a certain age group that was responsible for most of the votes that were happening now. This was based off one of the polls, which was indicating that
Oh, I say.
it was something like 55 years and up. There's two age categories
Okay.
included in there, and they were responsible for
Okay.
like 56% of the vote or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A
That's
huge number of the vote.
significant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
I
just
wonder if it's like population density or something. Like there's just more of them,
well, it's
55
they're all the
and up.
boomers.
Yeah.
They're all the
Yeah.
boomers and stuff, and there's
There's
more
more of
of
them.
them fucking because their parents were just fucking taking advantage of this amazing economic system that
No birth control.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
And actually when there was, the church was like, don't take birth control, it's against God. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
do that. Yeah.
So the yeah,
So it's poo-pooed.
I just thought it was interesting what a sham our election system is because
Yeah. Just
they
ask the boomers
well they
what they
closed
want.
down the government for so long, but fuck everyone else has still got to work.
Mm-hmm.
We're not allowed to spend money at work because it's federal tax dollars and there's
Okay.
no government.
Yeah.
And then they come on stage for like 2 weeks and like, okay, now go vote. We've given you the
Right.
information
Yeah.
and we've discussed
This is
nothing.
who we're gonna be.
Again, I saw a
Yeah.
clip with Carney talking to Polyev about a security clearance. I'm like, I understand that this is somewhat significant. There could
Mm-hmm.
be they're using it as a character attack though. Has nothing to do with actual politics or governance.
Yeah, that's going to change the moment he becomes prime minister
And I'm not
anyways.
suggesting
Like
that I'm supporting
that's
Pierre
silly.
Polyev by saying this. What I am
It's
suggesting
just a dumb argument.
is that you guys are discussing stupid shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Discuss the
And they do a
important
lot.
ideas.
They do a lot. Yeah.
But anyway,
Use your big minds. Discuss ideas.
I
Yeah.
am very excited
Mm-hmm.
that gas prices have come down. I can't
Oh my
figure out
God. Yeah, dude.
why it can be 107 on day 1 and 124 on day 4, but in the week,
So so this is like, I think it's market based, market values and whatnot. I think. And the US market right now is a hot mess with like the tariffs and whatnot happening. So I think that's what's affecting it. But the carbon tax leaving, I was reading an article, people are saving between $500 and $1,000 a month.
are you serious?
1,000, like on the top end, if you drive a lot or far for work, that's huge.
It makes me
That
so
is
angry.
that's like somebody's mortgage payment.
Well,
It could be, right? Like
and that these people that we voted for, air quotes, just decide that there's going to be a carbon
to me,
tax.
the
Like
carbon tax was a figment of somebody's imagination that they made reality. Like I just from the first moment that they introduced it, I didn't understand. They're like, it's to curb the use of these products that are bad for the environment. And I'm like, but you're not giving people alternative options. You're
no,
just saying, this is a problem. We're gonna fix it by charging you more for a service
we're going
that
to
you
punish you
have
out
to
of it.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna actually create solutions for this problem. We're just going to charge you and hope that you, the consumer, makes alternative, like creates the change that we want to see.
Hmm.
But like transit systems didn't improve. They, in fact, I think, got worse. Like, uh, like it's nice to say, let's use less carbon products. But what are we going to do instead? Like, don't just say, you're the consumer, it's your fault. Here's like what was
Yeah,
even the charge? I'm not even sure how much the carbon tax was. But if it's costing people 500 to $1,000 more, like those people don't have an alternative choice, so they are just going to foot the bill. And but that fucking sucks, especially when we can't afford groceries because the price has quadrupled. When we can't, I don't know, it just ties into this whole other argument that I could have. Yeah.
yeah, it's exceptionally upsetting. I
Yeah.
hate arbitrary bullshit. I fucking
Yes.
hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when someone gets to just decide, yeah, we're gonna fucking solve this problem by taking your money, on top of already
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
all of my fucking money off
Mm-hmm.
my paycheck.
Yeah. My income tax is high. Yeah.
Yeah, and now my grocery bills are
Mm-hmm.
insane. My
Mm-hmm.
fucking heating costs are ridiculous.
They're
Like
not
it's
going down. Yeah.
nothing, none. Oh, it just so you understand people that just want to move into the wilderness and
Yeah.
ignore the
Live
world.
off grid.
Like
Totally.
it's
Yeah. There's
so
like
dumb.
that big movement of like homesteading and whatnot. Um,
Now, could you imagine yourself?
Groceries. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry,
Oh no,
no,
I'm
you
talking
cut
to you.
out, and then I didn't realize you were talking. You go ahead.
I have a question lined up that's kind of apropos what we're discussing right now.
I love
Um,
appropriateness.
and so, yeah, what is one grocery item you wouldn't give up no matter how high the price got?
Oh. Okay, so for this question, I got to set some
Yeah.
parameters
Oh, okay. Okay. Narrow things down. Okay.
because, like, I feel like things like chips and chocolate and whatever. That's not groceries.
No, agreed.
So
That's
this has got to
treats.
be like, and to be quite honest, I would probably, I would probably say meat.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's fair.
we The only beef we really buy now is from like the Hello Fresh boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and we sometimes buy beef when it's on sale, like steaks and stuff like that. Um, but we don't have nearly as much ground beef or stew beef or whatever we used to keep in freezers and stuff like that, just like you normally would. And that's not necessarily a problem. There's no need to hoard food.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of how we grew up, where everyone had a fucking massive chest freezer and you were
Yeah.
stocked for months.
Yeah.
But when we move around a lot, it's really annoying to
Move a chest freezer full of food. Yeah.
well, and you generally have to start planning like a year out so you can start eating your way through all the shit you've
Yeah.
accumulated.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this shit's got to go.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we don't keep a lot of frozen meat anymore. We have a
Mm-hmm.
small like mini fridge size freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would probably say meat because I just fucking like it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What
I
about you?
just fucking like it.
I could deal without fucking like potatoes, bread. I can do all that shit on my own if I absolutely had to.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
exceptionally much more difficult to find meat if you're not a farmer or a
Yeah.
hunter. I'd say or a fisher, but fish just doesn't hit the same way.
It doesn't hit the same way. No, it doesn't. Um, I thought about this a lot. And I like sounds sad to say, but I think it's like I splurge. I currently only buy this on special, anyways. Like the barista oat milk.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think I would just keep buying it anyways. Like I would be like,
Oat
it's.
milk? Who the
I
fuck
know.
cares?
Oat beverage. Yeah.
It's even worse. It's just steeped
Think that's
oats.
worse. I know, but I was thinking about it. I was like eliminating things. I kind of went through the process of.
But so what is it
I
about?
was like most dairy, whatever. Like
You could
I could
probably
give up
live.
most of
Yeah,
that.
you could. Other than fuck, I forgot about
I
cheese.
I could figure out pasta. I could like fruit and veg. Like you can.
You can grow that shit
you
or
can grow
whatever.
that stuff yourself. And then like canned stuff, whatever, frozen. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about like cheese is nice, but I only buy it on special currently, so I don't know.
But
But yeah,
so
I think my
you,
oat beverage, that's my splurge.
but
Like
this is the item that you would.
I buy my oat beverage.
This is the item that you would pay that
No
you
matter
would
how
never give
pricey
up.
it got, I would still buy.
You'd
I
give
think
up
so.
cheese.
Yeah, I think I would.
Oh man, I'm
Because I
just
need
trying to.
my coffee. It's
I'm
my
just.
emotional support beverage. I can't give up my coffee.
I'm just trying to picture like this is Joey with would you rather give up sex or food? Because
Yeah, this is
in my
real.
mind,
Yeah.
and obviously we're different people, this is a
Sure,
perfectly
sure.
acceptable response. I'm just
Sure.
trying to illustrate how I can't understand it
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because it's fucking
Because it's so low on your totem pole.
it's it's
Yeah.
mud water.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like let's take grass.
Yeah.
You make it's adult potion making in real life.
Oh.
When a
I
living
genuinely I drink it every day.
no, that's fair. And I
Yeah.
suppose you don't eat cheese every day, but
Yeah.
does cheese not feel better?
The cheese feels better. It's got more protein. It's gonna fill me up longer. Yeah, sure.
It's interesting. I like because I've
But
never.
I have given up cheese before, so I feel
What's
like
about the
I
oat
haven't
milk
given up
that
my oat beverage
just
because I can't
warms?
make it myself.
So
I'm
this
not
is
gonna make it
purely
myself.
pragmatic. It has
It's
nothing to do with.
pragmatic. The way that this particular brand I purchase, the way it tastes, I like it.
It's
And
made for you.
it's yeah, there's no, it's irreplaceable. I
I
think,
like it.
in my opinion, yeah.
And you know what? That says a lot too because I
Because
was.
I've tried a couple brands, like it took me, I don't say a while. It took a couple tries to get to the one that I use
Hmm.
that I like. I'm like,
And you know
this
what's
is my
gonna
thing.
fucking suck?
When they discontinue it, yeah,
Or they someone buys it or something changes internally.
yeah.
I was
Okay, so this is a thing. This is a thing. They're like, this product and this product is made in the same factory. It's packaged the same. It's just labeled different. There's a lot of products like this, right? Have you heard of this?
yeah.
Like Costco's notorious for it. They're like, you can buy the Starbucks. It's labeled Kirkland. It's the Sumatra. It's the same as Starbucks. And I haven't tried that particular item, for example, but there's a lot of these things. And they'll slap a different label. And I'm like, I don't know though. Like it doesn't steam the same. Like if this is the case for products that I've used, in particular barista oat milk, like sometimes they don't steam the same. Sometimes they don't I don't know, like actually taste the same. So yeah, if somebody else were to buy this company and say it's the same formula but then it changed ultimately, I would be very sad.
yeah the
And I would stop buying it probably.
it would be honestly probably gutting for no good
Ruin my
reason.
life. Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
fuck. I really enjoyed this part, and I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're able to. This is a really important point here. We should all be doing this daily.
We should be stocking up on these. No, I'm just kidding.
We should be stocking up on barista oat milk.
Yeah.
We should because there's not too many. I don't know. I feel like
Mm,
maybe we don't spend enough time recognizing the things that we're privileged to have or lucky to have or whatever, and and to be grateful for it now. Because I'm picturing in the apocalypse when you
yeah.
run out of barista oat milk,
I
how
will not
sad it
be.
how sad it will be, but how happy you will be that you lived a life honoring
The end of
the
days.
amazingness of this barista oat milk every day.
This product. Five
Yeah.
stars. Yeah.
And if we say barista oat milk a few more times, maybe they'll sponsor us. We get that oat milk money.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh,
Maybe.
it's a
That
little
oat milk
soggy,
money.
but it's just as valuable.
Oat milk money episode title.
I was, I, I,
uh
sorry.
there's a very I have experienced this before. PC is great for like coming out with new innovative products and like their Blue Menu line
Mm,
I don't know if it still does. I like don't buy a lot of PC stuff, but I used to work at a PC potato chips and they were baked, not whatever it is. And so I would like didn't feel so guilty about eating them. But they're still chips, like
yeah.
whatever. But I loved them so much. Like I would buy them once a week, like it was my snack, whatever. And then one day they just stopped making them. And I was like, one of the great things about them is that they create new innovative products, but sometimes they can't long term. So they don't have them forever. Anyways, it made me so sad. So like, yeah, I did get to live a life where I enjoyed those sweet potato chips for a long time. Yeah.
Nice. I was thinking about the example I had was from, I guess, the Masters. I watched the Masters last weekend,
Yes.
and
Rory
so
McIlroy.
McIlroy, I saw a lot of golf content since then on
Okay.
TikTok, and one of them was talking about how the Masters works and why it's such a different
Okay.
tournament from most other places.
Okay.
So
Why?
number one is, you see any other golf tournament, there's advertising everywhere.
Yeah.
Every tee box is slathered with friggin' billboards and fucking signs and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So the Masters has zero advertising on the course.
Oh shit.
And so you get to just enjoy. It's a really beautiful course. It's
Yeah.
really well manicured, very
Is
well
it
taken
the
care of.
same course every year?
It's the same course. It's the
Okay.
Augusta National Golf Course.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think there's something like 4 minutes of ads in the entire show, like the
Wow.
broadcast. I maybe it's 40 minutes. I can't remember what it is, but there's
440, whatever.
so maybe it's 14. I think there's a four involved. Very little, very few outside advertisements, and then um, none of the
34 minutes.
merchandise
Yeah.
can be bought online. You have to buy all the merchandise at the
Okay.
clubhouse. They sell something like $2 million
Oh,
in a week.
the Masters tournament flag uh, on their house. So they would have had to purchase it there, is what you're
I
telling me.
I'm not
They were
saying
there
that
for the Masters.
this is like licensed, legit, whatever. So
Oh, okay, okay,
I'm not
okay.
saying there's stuff that can't be resold or knockoff type shit. So I can't answer that for sure. But that
Okay,
would be the intent, is
okay,
for that. The food, they have a sandwich. It's like a pimento cheese sandwich, I think it's called,
okay.
and it's $1.50.
What?
The price hasn't changed, but they changed suppliers and the flavor changed, and apparently people fucking
Oh,
hated it. They lost their
oh,
minds, just like we were talking about. So
oh. They were
something that
like,
they
this isn't our pimento
it's
sandwich.
it's like when Colburn's used to be a chip truck back in Pembroke, and they made
Mm-hmm.
the best poutine ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they changed something. It was the way they cooked their fries or the oil or their gravy or something. But
Mm-hmm.
it didn't taste the same anymore, and you could fucking
Yeah.
tell. So
Yeah.
I understand that. But the tickets for Masters, this is crazy. You have to
That's
register for
that was
a lottery. So approximately 2 million people apply for Masters tickets each year.
mm-hmm.
You have a 3.8% chance for tickets to any of the days.
Okay.
Because there's
Because you buy ticket per day.
I guess so. And
Okay.
the tournament is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but
Okay.
they have practice rounds, and they have the par three chip putt whatever contest on the
Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay.
So that's for any of the days. 2.18% chance for a tournament day, which would be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday or Sunday, and then a 0.5% chance for a championship Sunday. So the tickets are $475.
And that's how they pay for the tournament.
And well, I guess they do sell their ad rights to, I don't know, they make a fuck ton of money. They they make a lot of money through their concession stand. The beers are $5, the sandwiches is $1.50. They're just selling that like crazy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the tickets are $4.75, but they resell like every
Oh
other event,
gosh, I didn't even think of that.
and some of
Yeah.
them go for like $10,000. It's insane what people are willing to pay.
Whoa.
It is crazy. Um,
10,000.
there was a few other things.
I mean,
Anyway, it's
that's how much Taylor Swift's tickets were going for in some places. So,
honestly right. Like you're
yeah.
the only thing that's interesting about golf
People are willing to pay.
is sometimes you go to a concert and people will dress up like the artist,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time people just dress who they are and go to the
Mm-hmm.
show. Like
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of people are dressing like Taylor Swift at a Taylor Swift concert.
In one of like in the outfits of one of the eras. So like paying homage
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
to one of the eras with your outfit. Like
Yeah.
that was part of the whole thing.
That's fair, and that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. It
Yeah.
makes you feel more uh, part of it instead of just
Event.
there. But
Yeah.
every single golf tournament, everyone that goes to the golf tournament dresses like they're going to play golf, and it never occurred to me that that's just the weirdest fucking thing. Like this,
Yeah.
the message you're
You guys are
sending is,
playing goose.
I dress like this every day, no matter what. I'm like, I don't know, man. Golf clothes are comfy, but I don't wear golf clothes. I barely wear golf clothes to go golfing. But I thought it was interesting. Be like going to a,
It is.
I don't know,
It is.
trying to think of another example. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I thought it was neat. And now all I want to do is golf.
It's yeah, the range just opened at our local golf course. And I was like, "Oh my god." Like I like shouted it on the bus. When my students goes, "You play golf?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm new."
I'm new.
Oh, my parents play golf. I was like, "Yeah, they probably do."
Thing I like about golf is that you can play it until you're fucking dead. There's so many
Yeah,
other sports
truly.
you're like,
Okay, yeah, my former manager played with an old lady who played till she died. Yeah, she was hospitalized and died like a couple weeks later, but she was out doing rounds of golf before then.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bit pricey to get into it, but once you're there, it's
it's not bad.
it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Yeah, the point of
Anyway,
entry is
point of
difficult.
entry. The
Yeah,
barriers to entry are minimal.
yeah, 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 yeah. Anywho,
Yeah.
yeah, well, lovely. Yeah, everyone,
Happy Easter.
happy Easter. Yeah,
Happy birthday to Jordan and Megan.
and Jesus, I guess
Happy
happy.
belated birthday to Jordan. It was about a week ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and
oh,
happy
also,
rebirth to Jesus. Yeah.
that's so funny.
He will
I
come
need.
again. They keep saying it.
There was a great. I'll finish with this one. A great
Okay.
TikTok of this guy. He's a Hispanic gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife. They're talking, and she's like, "I'm not in love with you anymore. I gave my," or so she said something. I gave my heart to Jesus, and and he's like, "Oh, what?" And then he runs outside, and you can see him chasing after the gardener with a garbage can over his head. Jesus, just a funny little pun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Very
we
good.
again eternally grateful for everyone's support. Thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being there for us while we try to be there for you.
Yes. Wow. Well said, Colin.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Toodles.